So, in today's class, we will be doing another question of unsystematic risk. So, unsystematic risk is basically company specific risk, okay, which has nothing to do with the environment, only company specific risk. So, whenever we, discuss about company specific risk, we only see the risk, the returns of the company in past few months or maybe years, whatsoever your calculation is, and the probability assigned to it, right? So here we are given four companies A, B, C, and D, and their returns are given to us, right? So returns, for example, in company A, return is minus 30, 0, 30, and 70. And similarly, next is probability is also assigned to it. So 20, 40, 30, and 10, and so on. So similarly, for each and every company, return and the probability is given to you. So here what we can do first is we will calculate returns. So to calculate returns, the simplest thing we do is multiplying return with the probability. Okay, so let's start. Now what we have to do, first of all, we have to change all these percentages into decimals. Okay, so let's start with the returns of company A, B, C, and D, right? So how do we calculate it? For example, I want to calculate first the return of company A or security A, whatever you can say it. So security A equals to, so I have to calculate returns. So I call it expected returns. Now we will multiply these returns, this 30 with 20, right? So this 30 will become minus 0.3 into 0.2, right? Then plus, then we have 20 minus this 0. So 0 multiplied by 40%, that is 0.40, 0.40 plus, then we have 30%. So 30 would be converted into 0.3, 0.3 into probability is 30% again. So 0.3 into 0.3. Then we have 70%, 0.7 into 0.10, right? So we have multiplied returns with the probabilities. So this is how we get expected returns. So we will just add it. So minus 0.3, if I'll just solve it directly, minus 0.3 into 0.2, 0 into 4.0, 0.3 into 0.3 plus 0.7 into 0.10, the final answer we obtain is 0.1, right? So which means this is 10%, okay? So now moving on to next part, security B. Similarly, we will we will calculate expected returns with this formula. So here X security B, this is 0.2. See here from this, here I am taking values, okay? So minus 0.2 into 0.15, then 0 into 0.35, then 0.2 into 0.45, 0.4 into 0.05, right? So this is for security B. So security B's return is 0.08, right? So this is 8%. Then security C, now security C. So for security C, I will be taking these values, okay? C value, these values. So here we are. For security C, 0.2 into 0.2, then 0.1 into 0.4, then we have 0.4 into 0.3, and 0.8 into 0.1, right? So I have put it these values, C's return and probability, okay? So now the answer here is 0.2, right? Now similarly we'll do it for security D. For security D, I will be putting these values, okay? So here we are, minus 0.1 into 0.1 plus then 0 into 0.25, then we have 0.1 into 0.4, 0.2 into 0.25, then the answer is 0.08. So these are the probable returns of expected returns. Always remember, nothing is actual in calculation, everything is probable. So these are expected returns. So here the expected returns are for company A, security A it is 0.1, which is 10%. Then security B it is 8%, security C it is 20%, and security D is 8% again. So if we judge the performance of these stocks only on the basis of returns, obviously security C is the best one, right? And second is security A, which is giving 10% return, and B and D are giving equal returns, that is 8%. But as I told you earlier also, whenever you invest in stock market, there are two sides of a coin. One is return and other is risk. So till now we have only calculated returns. Now we have to focus upon risk also. So without understanding the risk aspect of this particular security, we cannot pick security C. So we have to see how much risk we have to bear to pick this security, okay? So now we will calculate risk. So in uh, in unsystematic risk, the way to calculate risk is either you calculate variance or you calculate standard deviation, right? So let's calculate risk of all the securities. Let's start with security A. So security A, risk. Okay. So now let's start with it. So what I can do, I can just pick this table. It would be easier. Risk of the securities. So I will just convert it into decimal because we have to solve it like that. right? So now we will calculate the risk of security A. So how we will calculate it? So here we are. So to calculate risk, what do we have to do? We have to multiply this probability with this expected return, which we have calculated here, expected return. So R minus expected return. So this return R minus expected returns square. Okay. So what do we have to do? First we have to calculate this, 0 0.1. So R minus 0 0.1, which means minus 0 0.3, 1 I will do for you. Okay. 0.2 multiplied by minus 0 0.3 minus 0 0.1. 0 0.1 is the expected return, which we have calculated here. Okay. So 0 0.1 whole square. Okay. So this is the formula which we have to apply. So minus 0 0.3, okay, I can just solve it here so that it would be much more clearer to you. 0 0.2 into minus 0 0.3 minus 0 0.1 square, right? So this is the formula which we have to calculate. So once you will solve it, you will get 0.032. So this is how we calculate this part. Okay, so here I will write 0.032. Similarly, second part. So here what we will do, 0.4 multiplied by 0. This is 0 only, return is 0, minus 0 0.1 square, right? So here the answer is 0.004. Again we will solve it. Third part. So here probability is 0.3. So returns are 0.30 minus 0.1 square. So here the answer is 0.012. Then we have last one, 0.3, the probability 0.1. 1 is the probability here, this one. Okay. So 0.1, and then expected return here is 0.70. 0.70 minus the return is expected return is 0.1 whole square equals to 0.036, right? So I will put all these values here. So here 0.004, 0.012, 0.036. So here we have calculated the variance. Okay, so what we have calculated, variance of the security A, variance of security A. So its total is 0.084. Okay. So similarly, this same step will apply to security B, security C, and security D. Okay. So now I will be just putting values because I have made clear that how to solve it. So similarly, we'll do for security B. So here for security B, the values are 0.0118, or I can solve it also if you want me to show it. So for security, this was for security A. Right? So similarly, we'll apply for security B. Security B. So here the probability is probability is 15, so 0.15. So I'll just change it into decimal. 0.05, 0.45, 0.35, 0.15, and this comes to this, and then if we'll apply the same formula, we will get 0.002. Okay, then again it is 0.006, and then it is 0.005, and the total is 0.025. Right. Now, similarly, we'll apply the same formula for security C. First, I'm changing everything into decimals. So I'll just change it for security D also. So here we are. Now I will solve for security C. So formula again we'll apply. 0.020 is the probability multiplied by the square of minus 0.20 minus security C's return, that is 0.2. Okay. So here we'll get 0.032, 0.004, 0.012, 0.036, and the total is 0.084. Now for security D, here it is 0.003, 0.001, 0.0001. Here it is 0.003, and the total is 0.0086. So these are the variances of security A, B, C, and D, right? So we will now make a risk return table. So here we're talking about risk and return. So risk and return of four securities A, B, C, D, A, B, C, and D. So the risk of security A is 0.084, 0.025, 0.084, and 0.00 triple double zero 86. So these are the risks given to us, and returns are 0.1, 0.08, 0.1, 0.08, then we have 0.2, and then we have 0.08. So now let's pick a security having the maximum return. So security C is having maximum returns 0.2, right? So maximum return. Then second highest return is with security A. So we can write it second highest return. So after that there is security B and D, and whose return is also same. So for example, you want to pick a security with highest return, then you will pick security C. But you see here one thing is there, that security A and C are having same risk, because we cannot ignore risk part, right? So if you pick a security between A and C, which one would you pick? Obviously security C, because the risk is same in security A and C, but the return of security C is greater. So we have a choice between security A and C, which are having same return, same risk, but the return of security C is greater. So we will choose security C. Now on the other hand, for example, you don't want to take this much of risk. You want to take lesser risk. So if if your focus is not return but risk, here our focus is on return. So that's why I picked first the highest return, then I checked its risk. But maybe you are a risk averse investor. So you want to pick a security whose risk is less. So we'll pick between two securities if you are a risk averse investor and don't want to take this much of risk, then you may pick from security B and D, which are having less risk. But again, here you will pick security. Which security you will see their returns are equal. So you will pick a security whose risk is minimum. So you will pick security D, right? So, but again, you will pick security D because the return in both the cases is same, right? So you have two choices. One you can pick on the basis of risk, and other you can pick on the basis of return. It is completely your choice as an investor. So there is no hardcore rule of thumb that you have to pick this security or that security. It is completely up to you what security you want to pick on the basis of your risk taking ability. You know, in certain cases, the major focus is on risk, and in certain cases, major focus is on return, right? So this is it.